All right, what's going on, YouTube? I got a new video here. I picked up this Optro Panoramix 2.5. Let's see, about a month ago, something like that. Paid somewhere around $400 for it. I think I've seen them online for $375, maybe, and then you include shipping. It's kind of a payoff, a little bit cheaper, and then you gotta pay for shipping, or pay a little bit more and not pay for shipping. That's kind of what I was looking at. I bought this local at Airgas. It didn't cost me any more because it's Airgas. Anyway, it says that Airgas rapes you and charges you way too much. I guess you don't use Airgas enough. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyhow, but I bought it local, keeping local guys to work and all that good stuff. But I wanted to get this mainly because I like the concept. How the lens sits back closer to your eyes. It's more like a pair of glasses. That panoramic view to see, get your peripheral vision back, sort of. I really didn't think about that. I saw some stuff where they talked about it. I don't know that you really get anything wider view like that. It probably is wider, but I really didn't notice it. I'm welding. I concentrate on the weld pool to weld. If a plane flies by, I don't really care. If a car skids off the road and is headed towards me, I'm concentrating on the weld, so I'm probably going to get hit by the car skidding off the road and I'll die. That whole thing there wasn't really what I was looking for or concerned about. I think what I was thinking was, with your lens set closer to your eyes, you're not going to have as much problem with the sun coming in behind you and having that reflection off the glass on the inside showing your scruffy face or ugly mug, whatever you want to call it. Mine's a scruffy, ugly mug. But the last week I used it probably about 60 or 70 hours to do mostly outside welding. And it was all outside welding. No trees around me, no shade, nothing like that. So I did have the sun at my back quite a bit. I do not recall seeing the reflection off of my lens in my face. Now that probably is because your eyes are an inch or so away from the lens, so you're not going to have that space like you do in your standard hood where your lens is up here in the front. So I like that for that reason, and that's I generally wear a Wendy's pancake because of that. Because the box encloses your eyes, you don't get a reflection off the back. Your eyes are in a dark environment, so it helps seeing through the lens. This wasn't as good as the Wendy's as far as looking through without reflection or light interference from behind you. Obviously, because it's not completely enclosed. As far as the lens itself and the clarity, this thing is amazing. I've used Miller Digital Elites, the higher end Lincolns, Speed Glass, and I've used all kinds of hoods. And this one here, the puddle on it was amazing. When I first struck it off, it blew my mind. It was so clear, and I was glad, because I heard a lot about it being really clear and being a true color, I think is what it was, or real colors or true colors or something like that. So I was kind of interested in that too. We're always looking for, as welders, I guess we're always looking for a better, clearer picture. It probably helps with eye relief or eye strain or something like that. There's probably some kind of scientific crap behind it, but anyhow, so that's kind of what, a couple of reasons I kind of bought it. It was a business expense, of course. So I'm the employee of the business, and the business bought my safety gear. So good thing there too. But as far as the lens goes, perfect clarity. Of course, you get it all foggy and crappy on the outside, and it takes everything away. The color on it, amazing. I want to say it's like a bluish, not really a deep blue, but like a bluish orange maybe. It was just I got a Radnor in my Wendy's, and it's kind of a greenish, your standard welding hood color. You know what you guys that do this a lot know what I'm talking about. But this one here was completely different, and the clarity on it was amazing. It was like HD TV compared to old school box TV. On this hood here, I'll talk about it real quick. I'm trying not to make this video really long. Your hood adjustments here, obviously you got to tighten it down for your headgear, and it snugs down really good. I've had to crank down on some hoods that I've had before where you just have to really rank down on them to get it to even stop moving, and you might even get a little bit ticked off and torque it as hard as you can. This one here, you give it a good snug, and that sucker, I mean, it's there. It's not going to fall down. I don't even have to get it that tight. As far as what I'm doing, it stays up there for me, and I hadn't had any problems out of it in the month that I've had it and used it. The headgear itself is pretty stout. It's a heavy-duty plastic of some sort. I'm not going to get all into the whole kind of plastic and what kind it is or anything like that. PELD, whatever that is. But the top, you got an adjustment here for the top of your head. So you can, I guess if you got a taller chrome than I do, or a shorter chrome, you can adjust that up and down to sit on your head. And it helps adjust here too for your nose and your sight, line of sight. You get that adjusted right, and that'll get your line of sight and where your hood's positioned at. This one here also, when you loosen this up, you can slide this back and forth, so you can actually bring the lens in closer to you or further away, and that helps if you got a big snout like I got. You can avoid banging yourself on the nose there when you flip your hood down. So that's a good adjustment there. I don't think I've ever had a hood that actually had adjustment in and out like that. And then there's this adjustment here. It's got a cam on it, and if you see the cam, let me look here. You can see the cam right there. It'll rotate out, and that just adjusts the hood on your headgear, how far it's going to go down. So you can come out that way and get it back a little bit farther, and keep your headgear from falling down too far. Inside, we have 4 knobs. We have the sensitivity, delay, your auto, and manual. Now the auto is a switch. You can put it, right now it's on auto, and if I push it down, I'm in manual. And when I'm in manual, I use over here, I got a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and I can adjust that in between either one. And you could do a 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, whatever. I mean, it's not a click. It'll turn in between there freely. On auto, it eliminates that. You don't worry about that one there. On auto, it'll auto darken, auto shade. So depending on amperage or brightness that you're throwing down, it'll automatically choose what darkness to use. Now, if you're not happy with the shade that it picks, you can use this knob here, and there's a term for it. There's a specific name for what they call it. I knew it, I forgot it. But it's like your plus minus, basically what it is. This, say your lens, you start welding, your lens says, hey, I'm going to put it at a shade 10, and you go, I don't like a shade 10. I want it a little bit darker. And you can actually turn this to +1, and well, let me get this here. There you go. You turn it to +1. When you go back to welding again, the sensor will pick it up and say, okay, I'm going to put it at shade 10, but you got +1, so it'll add it, so you'll have an 11. And same thing on the negative side. You come down here, and say the lens suggests a +10 or a 10 for you, and you don't like it, it's too dark. You can come in here and adjust it and turn it down to a -1, and it'll run it at a 9. Now this isn't an infinite knob, it doesn't spin all the way around. It's got a +2 max and a -2 max. But you can choose in between. You can choose in between neutral and 2 anywhere in there. So you could do a 1.5, you could do a half, a quarter, 3/4, 1, 1.25, 1 3/4, or something like that. I mean, you don't have to be. It's not a click where you got just 1 and 2. You've got adjustment in there between there. So you got some choice on it. I was running flux core wire, 26 volts, and I left it in auto on neutral, and it worked perfect. I mean, I didn't have to change it or nothing like that. It was just right, and the clarity was good. The only problem is that any kind of like flux core or 6010s, cellulose rods, they're gonna screw that lens up pretty quick, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But over here on this side, you got your delay. From my understanding, as far as delay, I haven't really ever used it. When you're welding hot and you stop, and say you're in a dark shop and you're welding hot and you stop, and you got the delay off, and your lens goes back to clear pretty quick, half a second or less. Now you got that bright red weld that you just welded there in a dark shop, so that's going to affect your eyes. The delay, excuse me, the delay will give you can put a little bit more longer delay on it, basically. So you stop welding, the hood waits 2 seconds before it changes. That way your weld cools off a little bit, the brightness of that weld comes down, and it don't affect your eyes. And that's basically what I understand is what that is as far as the delay goes. So I don't know. It came with it set in the middle. That's where I left it. The sensitivity, that from what I read on Optrel's website and in their manual, it is for if you're going to run higher amperage welding. But I really didn't mess with that. The sensitivity, what I used it for was when I was in the sunlight and I was like this and the sun was in front of me, and then my weld area was here and it was all ground off to shiny metal. That sun hit off there, reflected off of that, and with the sun there too, I was getting the annoying flash. Blink, 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 blink. You guys know what I'm talking about. Drives you freaking batshit crazy. Oops, I cussed, sorry. If you don't like that, I apologize. Anyhow, but the sensitivity, I turned it all the way down to 0 or at the bottom of the scale here, and just turned it all the way back, and that took care of that flashing and all that stuff there. And it was noon and it was a bright sunny day, so it worked really good, and it didn't flash me no more after that. I think later in the afternoon I might have turned it back up or not. I can't remember. I've messed with this hood here so much here lately that I've got knobs all janky and crazy and all around the place. So, but that's what I used it for. Now, as far as them saying it's for higher amperage welding, I don't know. I just let it do the auto thing and left the sensitivity where it was at. Now maybe it reacts if you're in a shop or something like that. You can turn it up and it'll react quicker. That I'm not too sure. You want to know more about that? Look at their manual, and I don't even know if it's in there. They got some pretty good stuff in the manual as far as what they do in the switches and the sensitivity and etc. And it's all based. It's like what is that? Drawings and diagrams, more or less. And so, like I said, they got a pretty good manual on that. But that's pretty much the buttons there. And then, obviously, you got, this is a first for me, you have a charging port right there. And the battery is good for 300 to 500 charging cycles, according to Optrel. And that's straight out of their manual. I did remember that. The actual plug for the charging port is your standard. It's almost like a Samsung. I've had some Samsung phones, and that's what the Samsung was like. But this is a pretty common one right here, and I don't even know what this came. It's USB, and it comes with one. It'll be a USB on one end and this on the other. And basically, I've plugged mine into this, which is for my Apple. Yep, there it is, Apple. I'm sorry. I'm not affiliated with Apple, but I just plugged it into that, and because it didn't come, the hood didn't come with an actual adapter to plug into, so I just had to scrounge around and find something and plug that in, plug this in here, and when you do that, it will actually put a light on the hood. Get you plugged in here. There we go. You know, show you're charging. Right. Well, where'd you go? There it is. Okay, so there you go. You got a little orange light. When it's charged, it'll be green, just like that. I think when the battery starts getting low, it'll flash red, and I think there's a center lens in there. This might be another light right there that flashes red to tell you that the battery's out, or it might be this one. I've never seen it low. I charged it when I first got it, and then the whole time I've used it so far, it's been the solar panels recharging the battery for me. So I haven't charged it since. This is like the first or second time I've just plugged this in just to show on video. You got your solar panels up here, and then you got your sensors around here for picking up 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 sensors to pick up the arc when you strike an arc to auto dark. And on your lens, you got a rubber seal all the way around it, and they say that it's good for overhead. This is about one of the only hoods that I've had that was auto dark that has stated that you can use it for overhead, that they're not concerned about you using it for overhead. So that's a good thing. A lot of the other hoods that I've had before, they don't want you to use overhead because it'll fall down in there, get on the lens, destroy it, and then it's done. This seal around here works really good. I've got a burn mark right here. There's some BBs right there. Burn marks, burn marks, burn marks. And you can see right here along the edge, right there if you look, and then if my camera's working good, there's a seal line. So that spatter come right into that seal and stopped. So it looks like it's working pretty good. The lens itself, these, you're gonna have to keep these in stock on your truck or in your toolbox or whatever you're doing. As far as if you get one of these hoods, you're gonna have these on hand yourself, because none of the weld and supply places I've seen so far have them. I've been around the country a little bit here and there. They just got your standard 2x4s, your 4x5s or whatever, and all your standard stuff. So you have to buy these online. I looked for some I was going to buy, and I looked on Amazon, or I actually just did a Google search and looked on there. Amazon popped them up, and they were like $36 for 5 of them. A little bit more searching on Amazon, and Cyberweld offers these. At the time that I bought them, I could get 5 of them for $26. So I bought them there. I'm not affiliated with Cyberweld either. I just buy stuff from them. They got a bunch of good stuff, and I've dealt with them a couple times, and the product gets here quickly. There's no issues with it. I like dealing with them, so that's why I bought it there. There's probably other places that offer it, but right at that time I had dealt with Cyberweld. I know their reputation, so I felt comfortable buying from them. So like I said, $26 at Cyberweld for these ones here for 5 of them. So you're looking at a little over $5 a piece for these, whereas your 2x4 lenses are what, 70 cents, a buck, something like that. So there is a substantial difference between this lens and your 2x4, but obviously you're looking at a lot more. There's a lot more to it. You got the little tabs, you got the seal, you got everything going on there. Give me a second here. I gotta get something to drink. So that's the lens, the outside lens. Inside lens, these, I bought 10 of these for, again, and Amazon, whoever was selling them through Amazon, they wanted like $15 for 5 of these inner lenses. Cyberweld, again, they were $7.50 for 5 lenses. So I bought 2 5-packs of each, these ones and the outside. They offer a cheater lens for this. I want to say it's a 1.5, 1.75, 2, and 2.5 or 2.25, something like that. It's right in here. And that's another thing you can look on Optrel's website too. They got a whole list of what is it? Accessories that you can get to go with this. True Color View, that's what it is. That's what they're calling it. There you go. So you got a bunch of accessories you can get here, and you can get replacement headgear if yours breaks. The nose piece, you can get a replacement nose piece. Panoramix magnifying lens is 1, 1.5, 2, and 2.5. They offer leather neck protector, head and neck protection. They got a face seal for a PAPR helmet. So that's got to be something to do with air and ventilation. There's an air hose holder and head and neck protection leather PAPR protection over here too as well. And I did see a picture in here where it looked like somebody had a hose come off the back for like air and ventilation or something like that. So I think that's another option you have with this hood. So, and I know that kind of stuff there gets expensive. I've seen some of them hoods where they're completely enclosed for ventilation. There you go. So there's an option there too, I guess. I know nothing about it. I've never used one. So anybody that's in the industry that knows about that stuff, this hood is capable, I believe. So that's all that. And let's see, we talked about adjustments, headgear, we got replacement, and you can even get the replacement for this little rubber boot that goes over the top of your plug there. If that falls off or deteriorates or whatever, you can get that as a replacement. All the accessories that I saw for this were available on Cyberweld. And again, I'm not plugging for Cyberweld. It's just I was there and I bought the stuff, and I noticed that they had everything there. I can't remember what the hood was at Cyberweld. I think it was like $380 something, or maybe $390 for the hood itself. But they had all the accessories, and you can get like a soft bag that actually it fits in there, but it's more like a sports bag is what it is. It's not a what I'm trying to say here. I got the cloth. It's just like a cloth bag they gave you when you get by the hood. It's just, I don't know, it's like a, what's that dang liquor, the purple one, Royal Crown. It's like the little bag Royal Crown comes in. It's the only example I could offer. But this is more like an actual duffel bag that you could put it in, you know, conform for the hood, and probably put lenses and stuff like that extra in there, which ain't a bad idea. Because this kicks around in the back seat, and then lenses are underneath the seat, or, you know, whatever. If you got a rig truck, you know what I'm talking about. It's just stuff scattered to the wind, unless you just try and organize everything. I got a belt clip. You could put it on the belt and hang it off your belt. Sweatbands. So far, they're pretty nice, and they feel good. But I'm wearing a beanie hat all the time, so, you know, what do you know about a sweatband? You can buy replacement sweatbands for it. So if they start getting all cruddy and stinky and things like that, you can get a replacement sweatband. Replacement micro USB charge cable. You can buy a new one of them. But like I said, you can, if you had Samsung phones or anything like that, you probably got a dozen of these cords laying around the house like I do. Tripping over them, falling on them, all kinds of garbage. But anyhow, Swiss made, Optrel, Panoramix 2.5. So far, I like it. My Pancake is still my go-to hood, just because I like this too, because you got the auto grind on off, and I want to talk about that too. I'll hit that real quick because I don't want to get too much longer on this video. But once you put it on grind mode, it will not change on you. It flashes a blue light, and you can see. Maybe you can see it in there. Let me stand up here and see if I can get you to. Oh, there we go, killing everything. Let me try and. I can't get it to. Oh, there it is. If you look off to the right a little bit of the screen, you can see it flashing blue. Now you can see that inside the hood. If it's really bright outside, though, I found that it was hard to notice it. and I had to put my hand over the front of the lens to try and catch that blue light flashing. Sometimes you forget. My mind's going a mile a minute or faster. So I'm all over the place, and that's probably why my video's like this anyhow. So you can do that grind, and that's why I like it too, because the Miller I had and a couple other ones that I've had, you'd have to stick your hand up in there and try and push it and push some stupid little button to turn it off, and you got this big glove on and you're going, oh, you're gonna turn off the button, you know, what the hell, what kind of garbage is that? So you'd have to take off your glove, go in there, push it, and start grinding, and then do it, and they got to be such a pain that I wouldn't change it, or I just grab another hood. But this one here on the outside, you just click it, push, push. Push it's on, push it's off. So that's what I liked about it, convenience of it. And the one Lincoln that I had actually had a knob on the outside, and it went from 9 to 13, I think. And then it had the off position, and that's what I liked about it. Off, on, off, on. So you could turn it off, put it on a 9, or 9 or 10 for what I was doing. But the only problem with it was the old style hood where you got that reflection from behind you. Oh, I need a shave and all that other garbage. So that's why I didn't hardly use it anymore. It was a shop hood. Now, TIG, I don't do a lot of TIG, but I'd say this is probably great for TIG. Clean, you won't burn up the lenses. They'll last a long time. If you're going to do a lot of stick, like 6010s or 7010s, 8010s, flux core wire, this will muck up a lens in a heartbeat. But I did use that. I've used it for the month with that one lens that was on it. So, I mean, and it wasn't straight up the whole month using it. I run the business, so I got paperwork and all kinds of other stuff that I'm doing. I'm not just constantly welding day in and day out. But there was probably about, I'll say there's probably about 80 hours on that other lens. And most of the stuff I do is 5P plus, 6P plus, ARC 80s, flux core, stuff like that. And when I was using it, that's what I was using it for. But like I said, again, I go to my Pancake. That's my go-to hood, and I don't think I'll ever change. But so yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. I think we covered everything. If you got any questions about it, let me know. Comment. If you like the video, comment and you like it. If you don't like it, well, I'll try and improve. I'm no professional video person or any of that crap. But just wanted to put that out there for anybody that's looking at one of these hoods. I looked at it for probably about 6 months before I actually pulled the trigger on it. It's just hemming and hawing. You know, you can think about it. Well, I don't know. I spent $400 on it, and then, you know, the hood you got works fine. But it's kind of like, I saw some reasons why I liked it, and what, you know, like I said, the on-off button right here, the lens closer to your eyeballs, that kind of appealed to me. So you know, those little things there, I thought, well, you know, I'm gonna pull the trigger on it and see and try it out. You know, I've spent probably thousands of dollars on hoods in the past decade or more. So it was like, well, you know, what's another $400, right? But anyhow, if you liked the video, comment, like it, share it, tell others about it. If you got any questions about this, you know, just send me a message or comment, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Like I said, Optrol's got some good stuff on their website, and check it out if you're interested in it, and do your research, and that's it. But thanks for watching. Y'all take it easy, and we'll see you on the next one.